So let's get started. In the last video, we have seen that how we form a partial differential equation corresponding to some given surface. In this video, I will continue some more examples on the formation of partial differential equation. And let us start with the first example, that is example 1. Z is equal to f x plus c t plus g x minus c t, where obviously f and g are arbitrary functions, where f and g are arbitrary functions. So notice that we are also involving this c here, and this is not an arbitrary constant. This is a part of this surface and it will be involved in the final PDE, because only the arbitrary functions are f and g. C has nothing to do with the elimination. Only f and g will be eliminated. Do not try to eliminate this c, because this will be part of our differential equation. This is not a constant this time. Okay. So as we see that there are only two arbitrary functions, and we already know that, as discussed in our last lecture, that the number of arbitrary functions is equal to the order of the PDE, right? So how many times I have to differentiate this? Twice. Okay. So first I differentiate it partially with respect to x and then y. So differentiating this with respect to x will give del z upon del x, and as we know that is denoted by this letter small p, and differentiation of this f dash x plus ct plus, and remember doing the differentiation of this thing also, differentiation of this argument with respect to x will be 1. Okay, and differentiation of this will be g dash x minus ct multiplied by differentiation of this thing 1 minus 0. So I don't write that. Okay, so this is my p, and with respect to y, there is q, del z upon del y denoted by letter q is equal to f dash x plus ct and multiplied by differentiation of this thing with respect to t, and that will be c. So I am writing c here, c. Similarly, differentiation of this g dash x minus ct and multiplied by differentiation of this, that will be minus c. So multiplied by minus c, so minus c will appear here in calculation, right? Now I have differentiated it once, and I know that the differential equation will be of order 2. So I will differentiate this again and again, right? Let it be equation number 1 and let it be 2. Differentiate first with respect to x again. Okay, see, that will be del p over del x or del square z over del x square, and we call that letter small r. So small r equal to del square z over del x square equal to f double dash of x plus ct. Again the multiplier will be 1 plus g double dash x minus ct. Okay, this is my r and differentiate equation number 2 with respect to y again. So differentiating it, I will get del square z over del y square, that is denoted by letter t, that will be c square. C square will appear here because f double dash of x plus ct, and differentiating this thing with respect to t will produce one more c, and so ultimately we will be having c square here, c square f double dash x plus ct minus differentiation of this thing again g double dash x minus ct, that will produce another minus c. Already we are having minus c, that will become, ultimately it will become plus c square, right? Okay. Now see that, can we take common, c square can be taken common, right? C square and f double dash x plus ct plus g double dash x minus ct, and here we have t, right? And using this equation, let it be third. Using this third equation, can we use this? Yes, because this is actually equal to r, so ultimately we will be getting, using equation number third, I will get t is equal to c square times the value of this thing, and this is r. So this is my final partial differential equation corresponding to this surface, and see that r, the second order derivative with respect to x, t, the second order derivative with respect to y, are appearing here. That's why it is called a second order PDE. And notice that c is present here because c is not arbitrary. Only f and g were arbitrary function, and that are eliminated in the process. So the final equation will be containing c, as I said earlier. This is the answer. Going to our next question, example number 2. Let me take z is equal to f of x plus iota t plus g x minus iota t, where again f and g are arbitrary, right? So this is iota, all know that. What is iota? Iota is a complex number. This is square root of -1. Iota is equal to square root of -1. You all know that thing, and you know that iota square is equal to -1. Okay, here. Right. Solution. First, notice that how many variables are there? Arbitrary functions are there. F and g are two arbitrary functions, and those have to be eliminated by differentiating them partially. Okay, so I start with differentiate partially with respect to x and then y. So it will produce del z by del x. May I write it as small p? P is equal to f dash x plus iota t plus g dash x minus iota t. So this is the first partial derivative with respect to x. Similarly, differentiating it with respect to y, okay, that will be q equal to, with respect to y, that will, with respect to t, that will produce iota f dash x plus iota t minus iota g dash x minus iota t. Right. This is equation number 2. Differentiating first partially with respect to, and this is, sorry, this is first t, this is not y, because the variables were x and t. This is t, right? And this is also t, right? Generally we have x and y, but sometimes in place of y we have a time coordinate t. Y is replaced by t, so be careful by writing that. Okay, with respect to x, similarly correction here with respect to x at t, and this t. Okay, that's it, right? Okay, with respect to x and differentiating second partially with respect to t again. Okay, so differentiation of this with respect to x will produce del p over del x, and that will be a second order derivative denoted by r, right? And double dash f of double dash x plus iota t plus g of double dash x minus iota t, right? This will be my equation number 3. and differentiation of this with respect to t again, that will be del q over del t, that is t, and t is equal to differential of this thing with respect to t will produce one more iota here, then iota will combine up to give iota square, ultimately that is minus 1, iota square equal to minus 1. So that will produce minus times f double dash x plus iota t, and again minus iota will appear here, minus iota multiplied by minus iota, that will be plus iota square. Ultimately we have negative sign here, g double dash x minus iota t, right. So can we take negative common out of these two terms, or t is equal to negative common f double dash x plus iota t plus g double dash x minus iota t, and using this equation number 3, we are having in place of this is equal to small r. Using equation number 3 we get t is equal to minus times of small r, or we can write it as r t plus r is equal to 0. Right, so this is the answer. And we see that the similarity between these two questions, in place of c, here we have c, and in place of c we have minus iota here. These questions are pretty similar, so this is just particular case of this thing. And see the answer. The answer was t is equal to c square multiplied by r, and see here, if I put c is equal to iota in this numerical, as I follow this question, in place of c we have iota. If you put iota here, then we will get t is equal to iota square multiplied by r, and what is iota square? That is minus 1, and I will be getting t equal to minus r, and that is actually my answer, t is equal to minus r. So this example is the particular case of this, where c can be anything. It can be iota, it can be omega, or a, b, any constant, right? So moving over to our next question, question number 3. Example number 3. Okay, right. Like next example is phi x square plus y square comma y square plus z square equal to 0. Again we have this time an arbitrary function phi, and including these variables x, y and z written in this form. Okay, so how many arbitrary functions are there? Only one function. I should write it, where phi is arbitrary function. Okay, we have done this type of problem in our last video lecture. I have assumed it as u, it v. Let u is equal to x square plus y square, and v is equal to y square plus z square, right? Then my problem becomes phi u comma v is equal to 0. It means that there is a function involving u and v, right? There is some function involving u and v, or you can say that there is a relationship between u and v, where u is a function of x, y and z, v is also a function of x, y and z. And whenever there are two functions, u and v, which are functions of some new variables, and they are dependent on each other, or they are functionally related, then their Jacobian is 0. Implies that Jacobian, that is Jacobian of uv with respect to del x comma y. Do not write z here, because z will be going to be treated as a dependent variable, so you cannot write z, x, y, z. Obviously there are two variables u, v, so here we should have only two variables, because the determinant is always a square. You cannot write it like that, x, y, z. That's wrong. In that case you have to put w here, another variable, right? So the number of variables here should be equal to this, right? So only x, y and u, v. Okay, and determinant value is given by del u over del x, del u over del y, del v over del x del v over del y is equal to 0. So this is the property. I am using it frequently in these questions. Whenever I've got the functions of u and v which are functionally related to each other. So now it becomes easy. Just substituting this del u by del x from here. What is del u by del x? That will be, I think, 2x. What is del u by del y? That will be 2y. Del v by del x, del v by del x, and be careful at this point when v is depending on z and z is our dependent variable, so do not write just 0, that with 0, that is absolutely wrong. Del v over del x, obviously this term, differentiation of this term with respect to x will be 0, but this is not 0. Z square, differentiation of z square will be 2z del z over del x. Similarly here, del v over del y, then it becomes differentiation of this thing will be 2y, and differentiation of this thing will be 2z del z over del y equal to 0. So be careful while the calculating the derivative. Okay. Now take 2 common out of it. Ultimately I will be getting 4 here, and 4 goes below 0, that will become 0. Ultimately I am left with this thing x, y, z, p, and this will become, I think, y plus z q equal to 0. Now it only remains to multiply these, and I will get x into y plus zq minus zpy equal to 0. I think this is the answer. Or you can multiply it or write in this way: xy plus xzq minus yzp equal to 0. So this is the answer. And what is the order of this differential equation? Obviously 1, because the highest order derivative appearing in this equation is p, that is del z over del x, and q, del z over del y here, and order of only first derivative are present. That's why it is the first order PDE, right? So coming to our next question, that's example number 4. Let me take ax plus by plus cz. I will take another example of kind which is involving some constants as well as arbitrary functions. So far we haven't done this type of question involving constants as well as functions. So ax plus by plus cz equal to f of x square plus y square plus z square, and where f is arbitrary function. So f is arbitrary, a, b, c are not arbitrary. Remember that if they are not arbitrary constants, they should not be eliminated. First thing is that, and they will appear somewhere in the differential equation. The final differential equation, all will be present, a, b, c. We have to eliminate this thing also, only f. So since only one arbitrary function is present, so first order PD will be obtained. We know that. So can we write it as in that fashion, that writing as, let me write g, okay, g ax plus by plus cz comma x square plus y square plus z square equal to 0, right? You know that how to write this in this form, because this suggests that x plus by plus cz is equal to some function of this x square plus y square plus z square, or we can say that when there is a function, then there we can say that there is a relation, right? And g of this thing comma this thing equal to 0. Okay. Now let u is equal to ax plus by plus cz, and v is equal to x square plus y square plus z square. Then it becomes g u comma v is equal to 0, and which says that there is some relationship between u and v, because there is an equation satisfying u and v, means there is a relationship between u and v are actually functions of x, y, and z. So their Jacobian should be 0 by the same property, implies Jacobian of del u comma v with respect to del x comma y should be equal to 0, and that is actually equal to del u over del x, del u over del y, del v over del x, del v over del y is equal to 0. Finding del u over del x from this equation, we will get a plus 0 plus c times del z over del x, and that is denoted by small letter p. Del u over del y, b plus c del z over del y, that is denoted by letter q. Del v over del x, that will be 2x plus this, or differential of this will be 0, that will be giving 2z, 2z del z over del x, that is having p. Similarly, 2y plus 2z q equal to 0, right? So should I take 2 common from here? Okay, I will be getting a plus cp, b plus cq, and x plus zp, y plus zq equal to 0, right? So solving this determinant, I get a plus cp multiplied by y plus zq minus b plus cq x plus zp is equal to 0. Okay, should we multiply them? Yes. I think that some factors will be cancelled out, like the cp zq, cp zq, so it will be better if you simplify this expression, because some terms will be cancelled out. Okay, let's see what happens. Multiplying this, I get ay, then azq plus cyp and plus czpq minus bx minus bzp minus cxq minus czpq equal to 0. This term will be cancelled out, right? Okay, azq, bzp, cyp, right? And we are left with this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 terms, and 2 involving a, 2 involving b, and 2 terms involving c. So we can write it in a nice form like this. A, take out a common of these 2 terms. A, we have y plus q z from these 2 terms, and from c terms, we have my c terms. This is my c term. Take out c common, we will be having c term, this term and this term, py minus qx, and the b term equal to b x plus pz. So it looks good. This is the answer. This is the answer. So we have seen that how to form a differential equation corresponding to a given family of surfaces, right? In 2 cases, whenever there are arbitrary constants are involved or arbitrary functions are involved. So I think that is sufficient to understand that how a PD is formed. In the next videos, we will be learning how to solve a PDE. Okay, so that's it. Thank you so much.